सदाशिवसमारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Before entering into the Brahma Sutras, I wanted to remind, please get back to Padmasana and Samana Mudra. We'll enter into the Sutra. Heyatva vachanascha. Just two words. This is the greatness of these great masters. They utter 2-3 words and we have to break our head for years to understand. Sometimes lifetimes to understand. Heyatva vachanascha. Swami Gambhirananda translates as Pradhana has not been spoken of even indirectly, because there is no subsequent mention of its rejection, because that militates against the assertion at the beginning. And Swami Vireshwarananda translates as, and because it is not stated by the scriptures that it has to be abandoned, Pradhana cannot be denoted by the word Sat. Before entering into the sutra, I wanted to tell you a very interesting incident. I received a message from a senior Swami of one of the Hindu mission order. Some of the Swamis in their monastery were talking that Nithyananda is talking on Brahma Sutras. And in their discussion, one group of Swamis said, how dare he talk about Brahma Sutras? What does he know about Brahma Sutras? And the other group said, no, you should see at least one of his discourse. He is really making sense. Some intellectual group said, even we don't understand what he will understand. The other group says, no, listen, at least just one discourse. He makes sense, you can understand. This went on and on. Finally, the head of that monastery secretly logged into the Brahma Sutra discourse, heard one discourse, and openly sent me a message congratulating and giving his complete support, saying that first time he understands Brahma Sutra. First time even he understands Brahma Sutra. I wanted to thank him for secretly logging in and finally sending a support. I tell you, really, if you try to study Brahma Sutra by yourself, either only 3 options. 1, you should just stop reading because of the sheer tiredness it brings on your physical body. Anybody who tries to study Brahma Sutra lands in physical disease, I have seen. Because your head will suck the whole energy. Even after that, you will not be able to grasp. Second, there is every possibility you will fall into depression. Because when the head sucks the energy completely, the only next step head knows is depression. Understand? Any step you take based on head, the only step head knows is depression. Nothing other than that. Third important truth. There is every possibility you can go mad. It's such a difficult, most difficult Shastra thousands of ways the sutras can be translated and thousands of ways it can be interpreted. Every time it takes at least 21 full 21 second for me, for my brain itself, to grasp each sutra. I am telling you very clearly. To grasp the flow of each sutra, it takes at least 21 seconds. It means it will take at least 21 hours for you, if not years. If you are trying on your own, I don't understand. I don't know what can. But I tell you, if you want to exist, you need to know the formulas for existence. Aphorisms on existence. If some way, when the kids start growing, if we can teach this, aphorisms on existence, saying, hey, your source is consciousness. Whole thing is based on the flow of compassion. And the deep engrams and sufferings created in you because of currency is not practical or factual or real life. I wanted all of you to know I am using a word practical. One of the worst things that can happen to human beings is thinking that wealth alone is practical part of the life. No. Whether it is relationships, wealth, or infrastructure, power, these are not just practical part of life. The practical part of life itself is aphorisms on existence, Brahma Sutras. It is a basic need to exist, just to exist, nothing else. If these aphorisms on existence is imbibed as a basic decision-making mechanism in your system, the highest breakthrough in the human consciousness can happen. Life can radiate itself in its peak possible form in planet Earth. I'll repeat the sutra. Heyatva vachanascha. Heyatva vachanascha. Pradhana has not been spoken of even indirectly because there is no subsequent mention of its rejection. Because that militates against the assertion at the beginning. About the source or consciousness, the pradhana self, even in the beginning there is no mention, because bondage and liberation both are for the identity you carry, not for the pradhana. Badarayana, Bhagavan Vedavyasa is very clear in the sutras. We need to talk about only what we have, the individual identity we carry. There is no way talking about self is going to help. All the talks about self, consciousness, intelligence, compassion only misguides you. That is why Buddha completely stops talking about self and he goes on creating a new term called sunya. Talking about self only is understood by the identity you carry, which anyway cannot give any proper, complete view about any subject. If you do the Vada Pradivada on this sutra, means the debate, almost all the problems your mind and all human minds are facing about the ultimate state of consciousness, religion, spirituality will be sorted out. The Vada Pradivada is a very juicy way of internalizing these great truths. I tell you, I am really happy I started this subject Brahma Sutra, because now only I feel I am talking something which I wanted to tell from my level. Yoga Sutras need not necessarily to be strong intellectual, because it is just a manual. Yoga Sutras is a technique manual for you to read and practice and get enlightened, because you need to practice. It needs to be a very simple, clear, manual language. The purpose is you are expected to practice. It's like a owner's manual for a particular car or a computer. That does not necessarily need to talk about the whole mechanism with which car is functioning. It needs to tell you which button to operate, what to do, to use that machinery completely. So you have certain powers in your body, mind, consciousness. You need a manual. Yoga Sutra is more like a owner's manual for body mind. Shiva Sutra is more like a owner's manual for enlightenment, consciousness. You own enlightenment. have a manual and know how to radiate it. Bhagavad Gita is more like a owner's manual for a successful social head, leader. But Brahma Sutra is not just a owner's manual. It is the pure science, the basic technology, the basic understanding, aphorisms on existence. I can say, talking about other sutras was, I don't need to use my whole system to talk about other sutras. But the Brahma Sutras, I have to use almost whatever is available to me. All the intellect, intelligence, logic, the power of Vak, Saraswati, and the highest possible consciousness, and language power, I have to use practically everything to speak on Brahma Sutras. That is why I am feeling so fulfilled. And if you observed, I never rest my body during the discourses. You will see last few days I will be leaning and resting. Because every word I am uttering from the pure existence plane. I am not even keeping little bit of mind even to keep my body straight. I am just resting it. Let the words flow like Saraswati. I am programming the whole thing to radiate the existence intensely. So all talk about self is useless. All talks about intelligence is useless. It only leads to more and more disturbance, disruption, misunderstanding and manipulation and morphing and misrepresentation. Because bondage and liberation both are experienced by the identity you carry, not by the pradhana or the original source. There is no mention about pradhana. You can never experience a breakthrough with the same old identity. For example, a follower type of personality, a slave type of personality can never experience leadership consciousness with the same identity he is carrying. When the identity has no possibility for a strong breakthrough, quantum leap does not happen. Same way here also. Unless you decide to be a high achiever, existence is not for you. Please understand. Aphorisms of existence is not for you if you are not interested in being a high achiever. Understand? Now itself I am telling you. This book is only for high achievers. Aphorisms on existence is only for high achievers, where the complete transformation is required which challenges your very existence. There was a moment in my life, all the bondages which can be created by the universe and all the liberation which can be given by the universe has become meaningless for my existence. Brahma Sutra says, Pradhana, source, origin, cannot be spoken. Any speaking you do, any understanding you try to achieve, any word you try to bring in, any concept you try to adopt, any belief you try to establish, only creates more line and layer of dust on the possibility of experiencing pradhana. That is why I am saying in Brahma Vidya Sampradaya we don't have enlightenment. We make you enlightened, but we don't have concept of enlightenment. We emphasize on cognitive shift. The identity which feels the ignorance should stop taking decisions based on its ignorance or feeling it is intelligence. The factual reality becomes a base for taking cognizance of any idea, understanding, and decisions. It is almost like pure existence in its purest form becomes a basis or basic ground on which you stand. I am really feeling happy for the kids who are sitting and listening all over the world. I am seeing in the video conferencing in Guadeloupe, kids are running around, in Anna Nagar, in many places. Youngsters are also sitting and listening. It is good. The youngsters are listening. Brahma Sutra should be heard, debated before the age of 42. After 42, certain parts of the brain, due to the long time unused, can never be retrieved or used. These are some of the hard disk which is not working and can never be retrieved. Sometime, if the hard disk is repaired just now, you can retrieve it. There is a possibility. If it is not functioning for a long time and you did not bother to look into it, to awaken it, then it can never be retrieved. If you send it to the forensic laboratory, means the master's monastery, there is a possibility. He may be able to retrieve and make it active. Buddha goes on saying that pradhana, origin is sunya, nothingness, nothingness. Actually, I agree with Buddha's nothingness because that stops the whole confusion which can be created by the jugglery of the words about the self and pradhana. See, small subjects which does not mean much to you and to your life can be confused. You can afford to get confused in those lines. But the major important truths like self, pradhana, origin, you can't afford to get confused. It has to be a clear, authentic drilling without leaving any room for confusion, contradiction, commotion and chaos. That is why Buddha has taken a great step of not talking about the pradhana, origin and God. I can say this is one of the main reasons why Buddha is able to make thousands enlightened. So Badarayana, Bhagavan Vedavyasa is very clear. Any discussion about the pradhana can only be destructive. Then what is the use of talking? Talking is constantly to remove the identity with which you are working. The identity which feels the bondage, which feels the liberation. I tell you, if you don't create concepts, ideas about existence and origin, it is easy for you to take the jump into that experience when it happens. When you go on having certain concept about existence, when it happens in front of you, you miss it. When you have a strong concept about Krishna, when he comes back in front of you, you will miss him. There is every possibility. But when you go on carry some idea, you miss the existence of it because of the idea about that existence. Same way, when you carry too many ideas about the Brahman, existence, you miss the experience of existence when it hits your base of cognizance. That is what actually I am doing now. I am hitting the base of your cognizance. That is why you are feeling so much of silence and blissful even though you don't understand a single word I am uttering. I allowed Saraswati to express herself honestly as it is, to hit the basis on which you are making cognizance. Let me tell you exactly the whole drama. See, basically, one line of your logic, due to some reason, suddenly got into a strong belief you are in bondage, you are not worthy of life, you are not worthy of anything great, you are not worthy of you. So that logic goes on interfering in all aspects of your life like a health, wealth, relationships, satisfaction, fulfillment, fear, greed, pleasure, pain, in all dimensions and aspects of your life, this logic jumps in and makes the whole thing hell. When again and again and again, the basis on which you take cognizance, the basis on which this logic which goes on reminding you you are unfulfilled or telling you you are unfulfilled is shaken. The mud on which this root of the imperfect logic, I can call this as an imperfect logic, because which goes on reminding you you are imperfect, which goes on telling you you are imperfect. The sand or the ground on which this logic is rooted, I am removing that very sand, very ground, so that the logic which goes on saying about the imperfection takes different cognizance, stops taking cognizance based on imperfection or the idea of imperfection. The first thing you need to know, there is no enlightenment for you. So you do not need to worry or work for it. All the ideas you carry is a psychodrama. Understand? For example, only when you look at that idol as higher than you, it looks like a deity. If you look at that idol as a statue, it is just a stone. It is your own psychodrama which adds sacredness to the idol and makes it as a deity. It is just kind of a training. Understand? Looking anything as unholy is very easy. But looking anything as alive or sacred is the most difficult job. Looking at anything, experiencing anything without sacredness is very easy. To throw a stone at something, to throw a chapel at something, is it a big difficult thing? No, very easy. Only to offer flower at something with a deep overflowing love and gratitude, you need to evolve. It is not a joke to melt a man's consciousness and raise him to a level where he can see sacredness in a stone or a statue or a living person. Stone and statue is little difficult, on living person most difficult. Psychodrama of adding sacredness to a deity or an idol is used to shake your logic which goes on reminding you you are imperfect, because on any one thing, if you feel the sacredness, immediately that sacredness hits the very root of the imperfect logic. That is why we say Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. By knowing Brahman, you became Brahman. by having the sacred experience to a deity or guru, you experience that very sacredness in the root where the psychodrama starts in your life. I can equate the word Sanskrit word Maya for psychodrama. Everything in your life is a psychodrama. You feeling me as guru, you feeling yourself as a man, you feeling you are a disciple, you feeling your neighbor is spiritually grown or is spiritually less. All wives feel husbands are spiritually less. All husbands feel wives are spiritually more rich. I do not know how this is happening. All husbands have a problem. My wife is spiritually grown. I am not up to her. All wives feel my husband is not spiritually enough. He's a headache for me. And I wanted all of you to know this is a psychodrama. And I wanted all of you to know it's an important factual reality. If you start taking cognizance on this factual reality, you will be helped. If you think I am spiritually more grown than you, it is a lie. It is a psychodrama. I am equal to you in spirituality. You may think, then why I am sitting in the higher pedestal? Because I need to tell this to you, you need to see me when I am telling. If I sit on the ground, the same level, you may not be able to see me. So just for the sake of utility, I am sitting on the stage. You looking at me with love, compassion or love, gratitude, compassion may not be the right word. Looking at me with love and gratitude, respect is just a psychodrama which will shake your imperfection logic or logic which goes on telling you are imperfect. Because when you see sacredness on something, the jolt happens in the root of the logic which goes on disgracing everything including you. And I wanted all of you to know, this is one of the important aphorisms on reality. There is no difference between love and lust. Your cognition about you is very sacred. So remove the thorn by needle. If you project sacredness on deity, it is like removing a thorn by another one thorn. If you project sacredness on your guru, a living person, it is removing the thorn by needle. It will never get stuck. It is a psychodrama. Psychodrama where you learn the habit of looking at the things sacredly so that you can experience that sacredness in the root, in the source where cognizance is taken in your life about everything. The source in where the cognizance is taken in you about everything is Hiranyagarbha. That is what is the source of the existence. But I wanted all of you to know, in existence, in factual reality. Rama, Krishna, Shankara, Buddha, Ramakrishna, Ramana, you, me, none of us have any basic difference. The possibility of basic difference cannot even be conceived. It is the identity you carry creates a psychodrama with which you feel the bondage, by disappearance of which you feel the liberation. So, end of the show, it is like you are liberated from created suffering. There are some meditation programs, no, not meditation, education programs. They create suffering for you and then liberate you from that. And people go and pay for it. No, really. Create the suffering which is not there and then make people feel liberated from that suffering. Because that is what you are doing for yourself. And you are happy about that game. You feel your life is useful. The other day I was reading a one-liner. Woman says, husband is a man who will stand by you during all the problems, struggles, chaos you will go through in your life, which may not happen, may not be there if he is not there in your life. I tell you, courage is the quality which makes you stand in your life throughout the problems, all the problems and low curves, disturbances which may not be there if that is not there in the initial level. You feel your life is useful if you create lot of problems and the end, if you relieve yourself from all those problems. You say, wow, see what I have achieved last 70 years. What have you achieved? Nothing but creating some foolish problems and sorting it out. End of the day, neither the problem nor the solution is worthy. You need to lose respect for all the problems you have. That is the essence, sacred secret from this sutra. You need to lose respect for anything you consider as the identity. Pradhana cannot be understood, as its existence is beyond anything you understand as existence. Anything which can be understood by your logic is not pradhana. Pradhana can never be understood by your logic. So all we are talking is stopping the yellow journalist who is sitting inside you and goes on writing disgracing articles about you, to you and to others. He writes disgracing you to you and sends the same articles to others also through your own mouth, and then writes about others to you, makes you believe and makes you tell that same ideas to others from your own mouth. These are the great four activities of the amazing logic which you carry in one corner of your brain. First, he writes disgracing articles about you and makes you believe. Then he makes those ideas to come out through your mouth to others, makes them believe. Then he writes about others disgracing article to you, makes you believe and makes you tell the same ideas to others also, and creates irritation and anger and fight from others to you. All we need to do is bring that logic to the factual reality. Means transforming. That is what we call in the Hindu tradition Kama Dahana, burning of Manmata, which we did on Shivaratri day. We burnt the Maya, Manmata, delusion. It's a Hindu tradition, Hindu practice. In all temples, usually on Shivaratri day or Pangani Uttaram and the Chitra Purnima, they burn this effigy of collective delusion. So the essence of this sutra is discussion about pradhana not only is useless, dangerous, so avoid it. So all discussions are supposed to be the identity you are carrying, and all liberation is for the identity you are carrying. Ability to look at the sacredness on the deity or the guru is a psychodrama which helps to shut the yellow journalist who is sitting inside you. Magic which goes on imposing imperfection on you even though you are perfect. So today I wanted the Vada Pradivada to continue in the end debate on these three aspects. Only the identity you feel as bondage and liberation, not the original source self you have. Second, original source or self cannot be understood by word, so it is good not to talk about it. Third thing, very important thing, amazing thing, the ability to project the sacredness on deity or guru. How the psychodrama helps you to remove the logic which goes on saying you are imperfect and disgracing you, even though you are perfect. And how that psychodrama can be used to experience sacredness in you, to put an end to this yellow journalist who is sitting in you. These are the three major subjects I want. Vada Pradivada to happen in end debate. Okay. So now, you guys start the end debate. Vada Pradivada. I wanted the whole social media and the internet, Twitter, Facebook, Orkut, YouTube, everything to be flooded with Brahma Sutras on these great Vada Pradivadas. Internet is being too much used for low level usages like a shopping or games, entertainment. Make the whole internet sacred by using it for sacred sentiments and sacred secrets, Brahma Sutras. Let everywhere the end debate happen with Vada Pradivada. Like in those days they say, if you enter the Varanasi, even the bulls, buffaloes, birds, parrots living in the Varanasi can give you any answer about any Vedantic question. Because so many Pandits are sitting and arguing continuously, They know everything about Vedanta thoroughly. Shankara goes to find out a Mandana Mishra's house. It's a nice scene. The passerby, the traveler says, go to a village where the poor women, low-caste women, will be taking water from the village well, common well. They will be talking about the highest Vedanta, highest truths, and giving clarity to you. Go to that village, that is the village of Mandana Mishra, and ask in that village anybody about Mandana Mishra's house, they will show you. Shankara goes to village by village. He saw many villages, people talk about Vedanta, but not beyond his level. In one village he finds the women who are taking the water from the well. During their debate, Vada Pradivada, they gave some clarity and click even to Shankara. He got some clicks, sacred secrets. Then he decides, wow, this is the village of Mandana Mishra. He asks those ladies, may you tell me the house of Mandana Mishra, where it is? They say, go straight. Outside one house, parrots will be sitting and discussing all the great truths and philosophies. That is Mandana Mishra's house. And Shankara goes, there a great discussion on whether the Uttaramimamsa is complete or Purvamimamsa is complete between two parrots. The Vada Pradivada is going on. Shankara was shocked. Parrots sitting and discussing and debating, then what will be the knowledge of the guy from whom these parrots have learnt? Then he goes and meets Mandana Mishra, and the further stories you all may be knowing. So today continue the Vada Pradivada on these three sacred secrets. I bless you all. Let you all achieve, experience, live, express and radiate the eternal bliss. Nithyananda. Thank you.
Nithyananda, thank you for watching, and if you found the video enlightening,
please give it a like, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe to stay connected with us.
Don't forget to click the bell icon to receive the notifications.